ಮೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಬೇಕೋ ಬೇಡೋ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಸ್ಕೂಲು ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಬೇಡ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಪ್ಪ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಆರ್ ಯು ಆಲ್? ಗುಡ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಕೂತಿರೋರು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಕಮ್ ದಿಸ್. ರೋ ಖಾಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಒಳಗೆ. YouTube live ಇದೆಯಾ? Okay, so a very good morning to all of you. So let us start with a small story. Story of a topper, right? So I started this institution in 2014 January, and before that I had a website. That was my personal blog. So on my personal blog I started writing about UPSC stuff in 2013. But I came to Bengaluru in 2014 January, and on that website I invited applications for people to come for offline classes in Bengaluru. So I received around 300 applications. Among them I filtered and took only 40 admissions. And then after I got these 40 admissions, surprisingly I got a email from somebody living in Jamshedpur. So she mailed saying that I like your approach, especially to your answer writing practice. I want to come under your guidance, so give me an opportunity, though I am late. So I thought, okay, looks very serious. She was working in Tata Steel in Jamshedpur. So I thought if somebody, again she had very good graduation from BITS Pilani, right? And I thought looks very serious, let me give an admission, make an exception. So she came, her name is Neha Kumari. She came in the month of January, I think at the end of January. The classes had, there were no classes, basically everyday tests. So after 10 days she came, and she followed diligently everything that we were providing, the timetable, schedule, tests, everything. So nearly for 12 to 14 hours she studied every day for about 10 to 12 months. And in the very first attempt she got All India rank 26. So she had all the trust, she came to Bengaluru, and when she came to Bengaluru in January, she went back home only after the final result. So that was after 1.5 years. So till mains it was around 10 months, and after that interview preparation. Even for interview preparation she didn't go to Delhi. I insisted, but she didn't go to Delhi. If she had gone to Delhi maybe 1 or 2 months before, her marks in interview would have been better. She scored around 159. If she had scored 190 or 200 in interview, she would have got All India rank 2 that year, right? So in the very first batch I would have got All India rank 2, but nonetheless she scored highest marks in GS plus essay that year, right? So the same year Ira Singhal, Ira Singhal, she is a role model. She became the topper that year, and since then, so we have produced n number of toppers. And coincidentally, yesterday we had a small gathering in one of the other institutions where they have sponsored some of the students sitting here. So I happened to meet Nandini KR, All India rank 1. So she is from Kolar, and she was there yesterday. That was a surprise, actually I didn't expect. And when I looked at her, and again when I look back at Neha Kumari, and then when I come for these orientation classes, so I keep wondering, how many of you are sitting here, right, could be of that caliber, and how many of you that kind of determination that no matter whatever is going to happen in your life from today onwards, that you are not going back home, right? that you are not going back on your dream also. Some people give up also, right? And you are not going to get distracted. Mane vapas hogalla andre doesn't mean that you are fully focused here, right? So when you are staying in Bangalore, that your focus, entire focus, total focus must be on getting a rank in very first attempt, right? And we have proven track record at Insights IAS, and it has been done again and again, right? So what ultimately matters in this whole journey of UPSC preparation is that, are you ready for the demand of the examination, right? So this question you have to keep asking. When you feel that you are not ready, you have to work on yourself. You have to prepare your mind, body, everything for the demand of the examination, right? So for that you have to understand the demand of the examination itself, right? So some of you have some kind of understanding, rudimentary understanding of the examination demand. Some of you might have watched innumerable YouTube videos, might have read so many blogs of toppers and books, how to succeed in this examination, and might have got understanding of what it requires to crack the examination. So may I know what is expected of you, what is demanded out of you to crack this examination? What is required to crack this examination? Consistency, very good. Smart work, good. Determination, desire, discipline, presence of mind, marketing, sorry, confidence. In fact, marketing is also needed. Can anybody tell me where marketing is needed? During interview? Yeah, in a way, yes, you are going to market yourself. In answer writing, actually marketing is required. You have to sell your answer. You have to sell your answer to evaluators. So obviously with good content, but beautiful presentation. This beautiful presentation, those who are aware of actual marketing skills can work upon it. So I don't see that just people write. They know the things, they go on writing without being aware of how their answer actually looks. Okay, confidence plus marketing, then focus. Good. So what kind of focus? Single-minded focus. There was rank 5, all India rank 5 from OGP. His name is Jaydev. He was graduate from National Law School. So we had a session with him. He told two important points that in his class. One, he said, listen very carefully, right? This is very important. He told the audience and me that I treated entire UPSC preparation as full-time job. So there are people who are worried about being unemployed. All of you after 6 months and 1 year start worrying that you are unemployed, you don't have job, and there is a gap, right? So he didn't think like that. He actually conditioned his mind, trained his mind to think that this is what was his job. This was his job. And I have always wondered, so why people treat job differently and pursuing this exam differently. For example, is there anyone who worked before coming here in any company? Okay, one. Where did you work? Virtue? It's a startup, MNC. Okay. So what was your timing? 9 to 6. Okay. So online, work from home. You work both. Okay. So when you are going offline, what time you started home? So what time you started your company? Like what time you left your home to reach your company?
Like
8. Coming back, what time you reached? 7:30. Okay. So you left your home at 8 o'clock and you would reach back around 7:30. So there are some people who start at 7 and reach back 7:30 also, right. So you would do that every day except for Saturday and Sunday if it was holiday, right. So like let us say tomorrow you had to go to office, would you think twice or thrice, whether to go or not to go to the office? You wouldn't think twice. So you will wake up, you will get ready, you will wait for the cab, 7 o'clock or like 8 o'clock you would go there and 9 o'clock you would start your job. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಗಳತನ ಏನಿರಲಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಕ್ ಮೈಗಳತನ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೇಜಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ತಪ್ಪಿಸಿ ನಮ್ದು ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಯು ವುಡಂಟ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್. ವೈ? There was someone watching you, CCTV plus your manager or no, that is one reason, but you had internal obligation, right? You are ethical basically. So you would see that cheating work is not my cup of tea, I am not that kind of person, so let me work honestly. So why would you do that? Why not walk out of your office for 2 hours, go somewhere, visit relatives house, friends house, come back for the job? Why wouldn't you do that? You had rules. Okay, are you getting the point? So you wouldn't take leave unnecessarily unless there is an health issue or something very emergency is there. Unless there is emergency, you won't take any leave, right? Huh? Yeah, right. So the point that I am trying to prove, which I have already got, is that it is all how we think in our mind, right? The same logic you can actually apply for UPSC preparation, right? So there is another reason that unknowingly you are working for salary also, right? So you work for, let us say, 20-24 days, and then you know that in the beginning of next month you are going to get salary. So if you miss, you might miss part of salary or promotion or something. There is also an element of fear in the sense that, so it is made obligatory because there is an incentive. So here in UPSC there is a far bigger incentive than your small salary that you are going to get in a month, right? And you know what is that bigger incentive. So recently somebody asked me a question that you are running a successful institution and you are producing so many IAS, IPS and UPSC ranks basically, right? Somebody said politics is not like that. In politics it is very difficult, right? In politics it is not easy to produce result or something, right? So then we were having a discussion. Then I told them, so I will give you 100 crores. Can you produce one UPSC rank randomly, like so they can do anything with 100 crores, right? What they can do? They can bribe UPSC. Can they? No, right? It doesn't matter how many crores you have, you can never, it is kind of a what kind of fort you call it as? Indestructible, ನುಗ್ಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಬೀಳ್ಸಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಭದ್ರವಾದ ಕೋಟೆ ಯಾವುದೋ UPSC. It is so clean, right? The entire process. So it totally rewards merit and your hard work and your personality, right? So you cannot buy IAS using money, right? So how you can earn it is only through your smart work, hard work, dedication, desire, confidence, marketing. So all the points you said. So ultimately what I have learnt in this entire whole examination preparation process is that, so it is not us who are actually training you and giving you the rank, right? It is basically you who is earning it, right, who is going to make use of whatever we are offering and ultimately get that particular rank. So IAS, some people want IPS, some people want Indian Foreign Service as well. So your journey, you have to be mindful that it is not going to be easy, not at all, it's going to be very difficult, right. So for this difficult, tough journey, tough examination, you have to compare your personality, right. So do you have those qualities to withstand all kinds of pressure, right, all kind of demand, expectation that this exam is going to expect out of you, right. And if you have that confidence, right, I am telling you 50% of the battle is won. Per se this examination, what you are going to read, listen in the class, write, right, that is not extraordinary, right. Do you know that it is not extraordinary? All of you are going to visit back your school days, school textbooks, history, geography, polity, economy, environment, Indian society, art and culture. So all of them you have already actually studied in your school days, right. So here the perspective or dimension from which you are going to read them is aligned with what UPSC expects, right. So more of application of this knowledge, getting perfect conceptual clarity. In school days we were reading them mechanically, right, for the purpose of the examination. So here you are going to read them back, understand them and going to apply them with an idea in your mind that the entire knowledge that you are going to gain in this process is going to remain with you till you last in the services. You have to keep using them, you have to keep applying them. It is going to prepare your mind and personality for the role that you want to be in, that is IAS. So we have to see it from this perspective. What mistake people do is that everything they are learning as part of this coaching, again they are linking with the examination, right. The point I am making right now, are you understanding this? Why people read, why people take coaching? Again they carry the same university, school, college mindset, that there is a mock test, there is a monthly test, I want to excel in each and every test. You have to come out of this mindset to prepare your personality, to develop your personality, to crack this examination. You have to show hunger for knowledge and you have to be curious all the time, right. Some people will tell you only read Lakshmikant 4 to 5 times and your polity will be done. That is actually wrong. So every day in news we see so much of Indian polity stuff in newspaper, right. So you must have curiosity not only to read Lakshmikant but also to see anything, any theoretical stuff that you have in Lakshmikant from different perspective, linking it with what is happening around you, understanding it and formulating your own opinion on these particular topics and ability to show them on paper and also orally. I mean you should be able to discuss them in depth. That will happen only when you move beyond particular textbook. So Indian polity, you may have to refer 1 or 2 extra standard textbooks. You may have to Google whenever you come across something in the newspaper. You may have to refer class notes but also probe teacher further in the class when teacher is teaching polity. So read current affairs, bring that knowledge here and ask them questions. Participate in discussion in the classroom, and our teachers are willing to participate and they have vast amount of knowledge. They will not shy away from discussing them. So they have vast experience, knowledge. I have seen that. And some people go to the extent of saying that their notes is sufficient to crack prelims, but I am against it personally. It might have everything to crack prelims, you have to perfect it, but you should not restrict only to any one source, right. This you have to remember very carefully. Otherwise what will happen? this is what I have seen, you feel like, you are burdened with one particular source. So polity class will happen, we ask you to read NCERT, then we ask you to read Lakshmikant, and to finish that itself you feel overburdened. That feeling of burden should never be there, right? Do you people have any kind of hobbies, like hobbies and interest? Which hobby you have? Trekking, okay. Like you are passionate about it. So what about others? Singing, good. You sing well, good. You have learnt professionally? Hange ಸ್ವಂತ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದು, good. ಬೇರೆ? ಫೋಟೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಬಡ್ಡಿ, ಯಾರು? ಕಬಡ್ಡಿ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. Fitness, fitness, very good. Then reading novels, very good. So how often you read them? Within a month, 1 or 2 books you read, very good. So any other hobbies? ಅರ್ಧ ಕೈ ಯಾಕೆ ಎತ್ತುತ್ತೀರಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕರಾಟೆ, ಓ ನೈಸ್. ದೆನ್ ಕರಾಟೆ ಹಾಬಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವು ಮನೇಲಿ ಕರಾಟೆ ಯು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಹಾಬೀಸ್? Interesting. Then like something that you do passionately, So the reason I am asking this question is, again, when something you take it as an interest or hobby, you never get tired of doing it, right? Like photography, like you are always passionate, if you have a camera and you can go to any extent of, you can wait for hours to take a good photograph, right? And you won't get tired. I think karate, like you feel pumped up all the time. So basically it drives you, so you have that passion. So you have to bring that passion into this UPSC preparation. I really mean it, it doesn't matter how dry the subject is. So if you don't bring passion into preparation, it becomes very difficult to sustain the race. So she said consistency, right? And he said focus. So I tweeted about it, there are no distractions, only there is lack of focus. There are no distractions, there is just lack of focus. So when you lose focus, everything becomes distraction. Like if somebody is not listening to the class right now, if you are not focused, so this becomes distraction. So you are reading something, but suddenly you are not focused, in a small noise around you, that becomes irritating and that becomes distraction. When you are not focused on the goal, any problem that you might face in your life, right, in your home, some problem will be going on in your home, maybe related to finance, health, property dispute, right, some kind of like relationship issue, something. So that becomes a bigger issue for you when you are not focused. So you totally get distracted and you get consumed by those kind of distractions. So that is where you have to bring total focus. So I was speaking about Jaydev, I spoke about one point, he treated it as job. The second point he said was he had single-minded focus, right? The second point he said that day was single-minded focus. So I asked, like, what do you mean by single-minded focus? He said right now, when I was preparing for this examination, pursuing this exam, cracking this exam was the only objective of my life. Nothing else mattered, right? Relationship issue, no, right? Earning for the family, so he didn't have that in his mind. Allow entire part of your mind to focus on this particular goal. So don't allow some part of it to worry about job, some part of it to worry about marriage, some part of it to worry about finance related issue or something. Don't do that. I know everybody come from different socio-economic background, but 1 year when you are staying here, ensure that all other kind of distractions are removed, or you don't worry about them. So this is where I see the difference. Somebody who treats it as a job, For that you need to have a passion, right? You should be driven by passion, learning, listening, reading, as if there is no end to it. And it's okay to spend the entire day on one thing sometime, right? So we are seeing so many suicides in Kota. So in the recent newspaper reports, I am reading that around 138 students committed suicide in last 4-5 years or something. How many years? It is more than that actually. So what is reported is always less, right? And one of the reason it happens more frequently in NEET, JEE kind of exam, but less in UPSC is, right? So there it is so mechanical, and the peer pressure is too high in that examination. But here also it is there, but some people do that kind of stuff here also. Some they get into clinical depression here also. I have seen the frequency is very high. Those who get into clinical depression, so you don't have to make it that way. So why they make it depressive is that, you know the reasons. So one common worry is that, you know, they think that they are not in the right direction, and if you lose 1 week, 2 weeks in part of preparation, you start worrying about it. So I wasted 1 or 2 years. And if you face minor failures, so I had one IIT student in our institution, IIT Madras. So he scored miserably low in his first mock test at Inside Science as part of the OGP program. So he was so depressed about it, and he came back and, you know, asked, so how can I score so low? So far I have been, you know, first rank student in everything that I have done. So how can I score low? So there is something wrong in your question paper. No, in fact, he actually said that. I told him, do you know how much rank first in this examination scores in this exam? 50 to 55. So what was the score of this year topper? Mains score. Ishita Sharma. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ? ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 1750. ಸೊ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 1750 ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್? 901. 901 was the highest score, written score. So it is gradually decreasing year after year, right? So I think when Nandini wrote, it was somewhere around 9,000 something or 990 something, right? And when Anudeep Durishetty wrote, it was some 940s or something, right? And it came down to 927 the previous year. It has come down to 901 now. Rank 1 mains score. So you cannot score 100%, right? So usually your first rank is always, you have like 9.5 plus CGPA, 95+% in your school, college, most of the universities. So here that is impossible. What is the reason? You cannot score perfect 100. Why? Like even in prelims marks, I have never seen anybody scoring, you know, out of out in all the tests. Correct. So everything that you were doing in your college days was certain. So it was predetermined. You had a fixed syllabus. Teacher will tell you, you know, the questions will appear from this particular syllabus, and questions you would predict, right, and prepare accordingly. So plus or minus 10-20% here and there, but largely you would prepare according to expected lines, right? But here in UPSC it is not like that. When we set question paper, we don't have a boundary here, right? So we don't have a boundary. Can just does anybody have a newspaper here? Just tell me a keyword from news, whatever. Yeah, rise and fall of Russian warlord. Okay. Wagner Group. So it is Wagner Group. So I'll take that example. So what is his name? What? Frizinev something. Yeah. Yeah. What? It's okay. So it's the group was called a Wagner Group, right? So now let us say I see the article Wagner Group. Now I am thinking I have to frame a prelims question as well as mains question, right? Now I want to prepare one standard prelims question on the issue that fellow is killed in a plane crash, and the group which he headed, Wagner Group, it was a private military, right? So that was at war in Ukraine. So as part of Russia's, yeah. So now it is kind of disbanded and all. So now how do I start thinking about framing the question? Where do I start? What is that I want to test a candidate when I have to, because the purpose of framing the question is I want to test something out of you, right? Okay, so analyzing skill of that issue, like what do you mean by analysis here?
All the aspects, like what all reasons have been either demerited or merited from that issue. That point of view, they might frame the question. The problem solving skill of that person who is writing for the question.
Okay, good. So when you are reading that particular issue, so now I am interested, number one. Now you are coming across as Wagner Group, right? His name is Frizinev or something. So Wagner Group that you are reading about, it is a private militia or military. Now I am interested to know whether you were curious enough to search Google to know if such kind of private military organizations existed elsewhere in the world, right? So that is one starting point, because you should be curious, is it just a phenomenon in Russia or any other such country like Russia? Do they have such kind of private military? Like that I would frame a question, Wagner Group, like match the following type of question. So I would search myself such private military setups around the world, and I will put them in match the following format and put the country, jumble them. I would like to know, let us say Venezuela had similar setup, Colombia in South America has similar setup, or Congo or Angola in Africa might have a similar, like in Ethiopia, Sudan, wherever you have civil wars, right? So you will have such kind of private military groups, or wherever you have dictatorships, right? Because sometimes they don't trust the military themselves. So in Pakistan also you see that phenomenon, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, right? It is just that they are named differently. So that is one. And then what could be another thinking point? Secondly, I would like to know, are they regulated, unregulated? Is there any kind of international treaty, or is there any international institution, right, that seeks to regulate them? How do they work, right? Or is there any kind of treaty, international treaty to stop them? So I will just frame a question, right? So I'll put different treaty in the, like there may be 4 options of direct treaties, and asking these kind of private militia are regulated according to particular treaty. So I am just curious, that may not be there in the news article, right? And so we can go to the any extent, but you have to start from a macro level, but you have to start from linking another topic to this particular issue within the syllabus, right? So this issue, like there are international institutions, right, international relations, and there is also world history, right? So world history can be also linked. Is it a Cold War phenomenon, or is it a recent phenomenon, something like this. And there is a geographical dimension also. So if the article says that they operated in particular area of Ukraine, if it is mentioned, so I would like to know whether did you open the map, check which location actually they captured completely and gave it to Russia or something, right. There is also a geographical dimension. So basically anything that you read, ensure that there is always an element of curiosity, and we frame these questions in this manner. Even the UPSC does similarly. So what happens, it depends on your level of curiosity, your level of hunger for knowledge. I am not asking you to do research here, right. So everything conforms to the framework of syllabus itself. Within the boundaries of syllabus, there are more interlinkages here. The one who smartly does this, right. So he is completely prepared for the uncertain nature of the paper. Somebody who is linearly prepared, they just make note of what is there in the article, right. Name of that person, so where the air crash happened, right, and which areas he had conquered or something, like 3-4 points you will note. So I won't ask them, right. May ask, may not ask, but in all probability I am not just testing the rote learning here, right. Application of that knowledge. So if you do this process for everything that you are going to learn, in the beginning it will take lots of time for you to do this, right, because majority of you sitting in the classroom have come without having any newspaper reading experience, right. Some of you are going to start today or tomorrow, some of you might have started 1 month, 2 months, 3 months ago, right. Is there any one soul here who has been reading newspaper for at least 4 to 5 years? Not Kannada newspaper, English newspaper. Rajavani ellaru ottare manege. Which paper you are reading? Deccan Herald. Since when? Very good, very good. You have highest chances of cracking this examination in one attempt. I mean it. Provided you stay consistent and you do everything that we ask you to do. That doesn't mean others can't, but you have to put really extra efforts, right. So this is a preliminary paper. Has anybody checked? Check ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ? ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರಾ ಅಥವಾ? So how did you feel looking at the paper, this year prelims paper? Prelims paper ನೋಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ IAS ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಇತ್ತಾ? ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕರೇಜ್ಡ್. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಧೈರ್ಯವಂತರು ನೀವು. Even after looking at that paper, you are still decided to do this examination. So one thing that we noticed in this preliminary examination is that what we call elimination is eliminated, right. So there is no scope for elimination in the sense that in conceptual question it is there, still it is there, but in factual question, in informative questions, you cannot eliminate anymore. So what is required is right now there is something called certainty of knowledge, right. So you have to be certain of the knowledge that you are gaining. It cannot be superficial, it cannot be surface level, right. You have to go to the depth of that particular topic. So don't worry that for some of you it might take more time. It's okay. It's okay to devote 2 years, 3 years to understand, gain that kind of expertise, skills to crack this examination. So one attempt andre, I don't mean that in 24 itself, right. In 25 also you can make one and last attempt. That is also possible. So to gain this depth in any particular issue, you need to do 3 small things every day, right. Because otherwise what you will do is unnecessarily you will do lots of research on each and every topic, because most of the topics we are going to teach in the classes are related to syllabus, to the examination demand. So 3 things that you have to do is that one is memorize each and every part of the syllabus, right. that is compulsory. Prelims, mains as well as interview. There is a syllabus for interview, you can check the notification. Syllabus in the sense what is expected out of you when you are in the interview hall. And secondly, the same syllabus you have to exhaustively break it down into subtopics, right. So you should know under art and culture from ancient to modern times which are all the topics that you need to study. So some people give you breakup of syllabus also, but my suggestion is you need to do it on your own. To do that, there are two exercises, right, to understand depth and breadth of the syllabus. One is last 27 years prelims question papers, 28 years. 28 years prelims question papers you need to go through every day, right. So you can align it with the subject that is going to be taught in the class. So for instance, if it is geography, start with last 28 years of geography. But if you have come here with some basic reading of all the topics from NCERT or from random sources, my suggestion is keep it a parallel exercise, right. You can go with year wise approach or topic wise approach, but whatever it is, last 28 years prelims question topics you have to memorize, you have to remember, right. So that is to some extent will give you under art and culture, right, to what breadth the questions were asked, to some extent depth also you will come to know, right. So art and culturally, let us say if Buddhism, within Buddhism how many types of questions were asked, in Jainism how many types of questions were asked, architecture, right, within the temple architecture or Islamic architecture or dance forms, right, or classical music, sculpture, whatever it is. So what were the different types of questions that were asked, that will give you a very good indication that to what extent you need to read, right. So that itself will give you breakup of syllabus to some extent. Second, compulsory reading of class 6 to 12th NCERT textbooks, right. So your NCERT, what I have been calling NCERT is that it is the detailed syllabus of UPSC with some content, some basic content for you. So otherwise why would anyone recommend you to read NCERT? So all the toppers, there are 2 to 3 reasons. One is conceptual clarity, right. Second one is that it will tell you to what extent you need to read particular topic. So without NCERT there are so many books on art and culture, right. So how much you will read? Every topic related to art and culture or world history or modern history that is there in NCERT, those topics plus last 28 years prelims topics you need to master them. So there apply this curiosity thing, right, digging, learning other dimensions of it. Third one is last 10 or 15 years mains question papers, right. So if you are starting journey today, so do these 3 exercises, right, prelims, NCERT plus last 10 year mains. NCERT is a continuous process, you can align it with the subject, but last 10 year mains and preliminary question papers, out of curiosity keep looking at them, carry those questions with you all the time, right. The one who has really mastered these 2 things, right, I strongly believe that you have laid a very strong foundation for the UPSC preparation. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಲೈಕ್ ಈ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೇನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಕ್ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೇನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಏರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೇನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏಷ್ಯಾ ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವರ್ ಆಸ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಓವರ್, right, these are all basic things. So devote 1 or 2 hours every day only for this exercise. This is extremely important. The reason is that most of the people wait for coaching to get over, they start doing mains preparation only 2-3 months before prelims they start taking previous year prelims question very seriously, right? It's kind of a reverse. You have done everything without aligning it with demand of the examination. You don't know, you have attended classes, everything, you have made notes, but you have never thought about it from the demand of the exam, right? What kind of questions were asked, what kind of question can be asked, and then suddenly in the end you would like to do questions. So actually that doesn't help. Before starting this journey, you have to keep doing it, and while going with this journey, you have to keep doing it regularly. Did you understand this? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ನ, ಲೈಕ್ ಸೇ 5 years 10 years? ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಬಾಟ್ ದ ಬುಕ್? ಇನ್ನು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಯರ್ಸ್? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್? ಮೇನ್ಸ್ 7 years ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್. Good. Prelims? You have that book. Good. So we are releasing our own book also, right? In another 1 month. Meanwhile, you can buy any book from market. Amazon you will get those books. 27-28 years prelims question paper analysis. ಸೊ ಏನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕೂತಿದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ? ಯಾಕೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು? ಸೊ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈಂಡ್, ಓಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನಂತ? ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದನ್ ಕೈತದ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಓಕೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ 5 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ? 2 attempts? So you are very realistic, practical. 3 attempts? ಹುಡುಗಿರು ಯಾರು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಲ್ಲ. So it can be done in maximum 2 attempts, right? My personal suggestion, those who have left job and come here, those who have just completed your graduation, invest 2 years into examination right now. So 1 year coaching alagate, in another year maybe further improvement or examination. If you have courage, you can give the exam next year. 2 years aadmele compulsorily either go for higher education or for job, and then continue to give the examination, right? But ee 2 years alli, in these 2 years, ensure that you give like more than 100%, literally 12 to 14 hours every day with 1 or 2 day breaks in a week, right? 12 to 14 hours every day, maybe 1 complete break in a week. If you do this for 10 to 12 months continuously, you will be totally prepared for the examination. So that is the biggest challenge. The reason is that almost everyone sitting in front of me, in your entire life of your existence of 21, 22, 23 years, for more than 1 or 2 months you have never studied beyond 8 hours continuously. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ಥರದವ್ರು? ಎನಿವನ್? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ 1 ತಿಂಗಳು 2 ತಿಂಗಳು ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 8 hours ಆರ್ 6 hours ಯಾರು ಕೂತು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ಯುನಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ 1 week ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 7 ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ 365 365 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 365 ಬರೀ 7 ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. 730 ಆಯಿತು, 750 days, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಬಾರಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 100 days ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್, one day ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಚೆ ಈಚೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಯರ್ಲಿ 600 days you have to study for 12 to 14 hours every day. To do that, right? And again it starts from today. Suddenly class irutte, and then you have to go back and read class notes, related textbooks, write answers, and then when you join optional you have to manage optional along with that. So both your mind plus body are not ready for it, to do it suddenly, right? So my suggestion is take it slowly. Don't try to do everything at once. Slowly in the sense, not very slowly, like on weekly basis, in an incremental way, but week after week, right? You have to increase the number of hours you are going to give for this examination and preparation. But suddenly don't try to do it 12 to 14 hours. So that is the problem. So many people do it for 3-4 days and then they burn out and then they take a bigger break. And once you take a bigger break of 3, 4, 5 days, it is difficult to come back because by then there is so much pending. Classes, notes, assignments. So it is better to focus on 1 or 2 things in a day where you feel which is very important for you, where you are actually weak at. So the things which you lack, the things which are totally new for you, on those things give your total focus in the beginning, right? So it can be class, for example, ಯಾವ class ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? Art and culture. So let us say art and culture is new to you. So life ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಓದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೇಳೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. So then give so much time on it. And let us say somebody from arts background and art and culture you have actually done, studied about it. So no need to focus so much on art and culture. It's okay. Just read enough to recall, revise whatever you have studied in your graduation. But give more time to another area. So it can be newspaper, it can be CSAT, right? Or it can be answer writing, essay writing, the area which you want to improve. For everything we have mentors and teachers available, right? So whenever I see all of youngsters, feeling ಬರ್ತದೆ, right? So you all of you come with big hopes, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲೂ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಏನಾದರೂ ಆಗಲಿ ನಾನು IAS ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, ಕಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಮೇ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್, ಆ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಒಳಗೆ. And when the dream started, you took this decision to come out of your homes. Somewhere majority, like how many of you are outside Bangalore, from outside Bangalore? Almost everyone. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆದಿರೋರು ಯಾರಿದಾರಲ್ಲಿ? ಓಕೆ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ? ನಾವು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದು. ಹಾಂ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಎಸ್, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಮಾಷೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಹಿಂಜರಿಕೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಫೀರಿಯಾರಿಟಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ವೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು ಊರಲ್ಲಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರ ನೀವು? ನಾನು 11th or 12th ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಟೀಚರ್ನ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಕಾರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಲೇಟರ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾನ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಂದು. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಕು ಅವರಿಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸಿಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನವೋದಯ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಓದಿದ್ದು, ನವೋದಯ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 6 to class 12, ಅದು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲು, ಹೈಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್. ಕೇರಳದಿಂದ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೋರು. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ದಿನ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಪಾಪ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನವೋದಯ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹುಡುಗಿರಾದರೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಹುಡುಗರು ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಬಾಯ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಓದೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋರನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್, ಸೊ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಬಟ್ಲರ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಂತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ಒಬ್ಬರು ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿಯಿಂದ ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್, ಪ್ಯೂರ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಅವನು. ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕಮ್, ಹಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಆತ, ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ವಿಲ್ ಲಾಫ್ ಅಟ್ when somebody is making a mistake, I encourage. But I really admired his courage. ಕಮ್ ವಾರ್ಡ್ ಮೇ ಯಾರೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಬಂದು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಡೂ ಅಂತಂದು ಕೇಳೋದು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ, ಹುಡುಗಿರಾಗಲಿ ಹುಡುಗರಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಈ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಈ ಲರ್ನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಗುಡ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಓವರ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಮಂತ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು come out of any kind of complex you have. Similar thing will happen with answer writing. So you are afraid of writing very bad answer. Now bardira answer mentor or teacher might laugh at, right? And then you will have comparison, with the toppers copies. It is nowhere near to toppers answers. So you have to start from somewhere. So I have seen these people, ellaru ಕೂತಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ, everyone will not start answer writing today or tomorrow when your classes begin, right? One fear irutte ella one kade. So my suggestion is, anything that comes to your mind, just write it, right? Just write anything that comes to your mind. Adu artha agli artha agde irli, or if you want to write a message to teacher, story, I mean it actually. You write anything that comes to your mind. And I strongly believe after graduating you are not children. I mean, you can think and write something sensible. If you apply your mind, if you think with an open mind, right, you can recall what you have studied in school days, what you have read outside your school textbooks, and write something. So bring that courage and write something. Similarly with essay. So what I have noticed is that those who start with worst answer or worst essay, after 3 months they will start writing average essays, right, if they consistent with this. Those who keep thinking I have to gain all the knowledge in the world, because I lack content, right, and I lack courage to write. So even after 1 year they haven't written anything. This is a very common problem in this journey. I am not exaggerating. So I have seen people from so-called best institutions from Delhi, after spending 5 to 6 lakh in a year, right, coming back telling me that during the course of entire coaching they have never written a single essay. They have written very few answers or no answers. The reason is, one is nobody told them about the seriousness of this particular requirement. Secondly, they didn't have the courage. They thought, in fact in Delhi someone will tell you that only after gaining all the knowledge you should start writing. So don't make that mistake. That is why in OGP we have integrated answer writing from the day 1 itself. So start writing. So if you start something, slowly, incrementally you will start writing sensible stuff. If you keep postponing it, I will make very good notes and then I will start, right, let the classes complete, then I will start. So please avoid this particular mistake. Here anybody who starts early the requirements for the examination, so the chances of getting matured in those areas is very high after few months. Those who keep postponing them, right, so it is proportionate, you have to keep postponing similar number of years to crack this examination. ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬರೋದು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಒಬ್ರು ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್? ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್? ಯಶಸ್ ರೈಟ್? ಎಸ್ಸೆ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಬೇರೆಯವರು? So we ask you to write essay from the very first week here, and I encourage personally. ಬರೀತೀರಾ? ಏನು ಬರೀತೀರಾ ಎಸ್ಸೆನಲ್ಲಿ? Which topic you will choose? I'll give you one topic, okay, simple topic. So let us do one small experiment for 5 minutes. Here, all of you have pen and paper. ಇದು ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. So I'll give you a very simple topic, right? I want you to take 5 minutes of your time and write one page of content, whatever comes to your mind. Very easy topic that you are already aware about, right? And I would like to read it out randomly. Ready? All of you ready? Diversity is the bedrock or foundation. Diversity is the bedrock of democracy. Diversity is the bedrock of democracy. So this is the essay topic, right? So later you can go back home and think about and write, like 1000 words. So for now I want you to think about it, like 2 to 3 minutes. So what is the topic? So basically diversity is the foundation of democracy, right? Easy topic, right? So it's an easy topic if you think about it. You know what is diversity. All of you know what is diversity, and you know what is democracy, right? I am just saying that diversity is the foundation of democracy, and regarding this you have to think whether you agree or disagree. When you start thinking, the thinking point is whether you agree or disagree. You cannot just blindly start thinking about it. Question the topic, whether you agree or disagree, yes or no, right? If you agree, why you are agreeing with the topic? What are the reasons that is making you agree with the topic? Start seeing the relation. You know what is diversity, right? Components of diversity, right? So diversity antandre not just festivals and food, the things we wear, festivals, dance and other things. Diversity is also about people's aspirations, opinions, choices, our practices, our belief system, everything, right? There is diversity in that also. Now how do they contribute to democracy? And what is democracy? Democracy is rule of law. What is the definition given by Lincoln? By the people, for the people and of the people. Like BUY, by the people. BY, for the people. FAR, for of the people. OFF. No. So somewhere we are living in this kind of democracy nowadays. By the people, by votes, by legislators, for the people. How many of you have met your MLA or MPs? Family members, family member, right? See, so you are privileged. So those are not family members. How many of you have met your MLA or MPs? Good. Less number, it's not majority, obviously. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು? Very good. You introduced MLA to the audience. Good. So ಅದು luck ಅದು. I mean office ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ it's very difficult, right? Anyway, so that is for another day. So now you go with the Lincoln definition, right? So by the people, for the people and of the people, and now establish the linkage between them, right? I will give you 5 minutes. So write anything that comes to your mind. Why diversity is important for democracy or foundation of democracy or bedrock of democracy. So you can start. Okay, you can stop writing. Shall I read anyone's? ಯಾರು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಾ? Good effort. So basically you have written the definition given by Lincoln, and then India is called as a subcontinent in world because of the diversity, and today India stands as the world's largest democracy, having billions of 1.4 billion people. Diversity of country can be detailed or broadly categorized as political, economic, cultural, geographic, historical. Politically, India has multi-party system where any political party can. So you wanted to say there is diversity in political party system. So what you have written so far is the introduction. So direct linkage establish agilla. Maybe you would have written later. Where are other? India, our country, has a strong foundation of cherishing the diversity. It is engraved in our culture to accept all as part of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Diversity comes with opinion of different kind of persons, whether in the religion, belief, practices, also in politics. For efficient working of a democratic country, it is strongly needed to have opinions of different set of people. The very essence of democracy is in the fact that it is the voice of the people and not of the majority. Good. Decent. So diversity is the differential dimensions of the state nation with respect to language, culture, tradition, belief, superstitions and many more. Taking our nation into consideration, diversity is to root level too. Even the smallest part has different vision for the society, and taking a step into democracy in a diversified state is very challenging. There are 28 states and 7 union territories. From the tip of Kanyakumari to Kashmir, to every 1 to 2 kilometers, the soil, language, food, practice gradually evolve into a different sect as the distance passes by. People's mindset thinking is never the same. Therefore, there should be a grassroots level understanding for the proper functioning of the democracy. Democracy plays a pivotal role. As it is said, it is by the people, for the people, of the people. It is all about the people needs, wants to be fulfilled by the democratic strata without harming the other person's interest. Understanding diversity, unifying it with a secular thought frames the best democratic nation. Good. You want to? Yes, diversity is indeed the bedrock of democracy. The following reasons fairly substantiate the statement, and they are: society runs on a mutual principle of understanding among the people. Principle of understanding among the people. Hence, a society cannot run on the opinions based on individual or a set of people believing in some things. Group of people from diverse backgrounds bring in diverse opinions to the table. With these antithetical statements or solutions to a concern, there will be a more rational and inclusive approach to address any issue. Obvious, but yet to point out no one other than good. So, like some of you have understood the topic and made a point that diversity of opinions, right? Belief system, practices, customs, ideologies, dogmas, ideas, or even perspectives. So they basically strengthen democratic processes, democratic institutions, right? And democratic products also, we can say, legislations, policies. So they also get strengthened because you have to balance diverse views and come out with the best possible solution, right? So in a way that is true, but when you are thinking about these topics, you have to look at it very critically. Critically in the sense, so in India, diversity is helping democracy because there is unity in diversity, right? So if we didn't have unity in diversity, we would have, right, our democracy wouldn't have been as strong as it is today. And then we have to think why there is unity in diversity. Can anybody answer? Give me 2 reasons why we have unity in diversity. Yeah, we respect each other's needs. Give me the reasons why we respect each other's needs.
All are connected to our roots. We understand that if I am so concerned and connected to my own culture, the other person will be too. That mutual understanding is there.
How did we achieve that mutual understanding? That is the question. That is what binds us together, right? Mutual understanding, mutual respect, mutual tolerance. Very good. So how it has evolved?
So before it was, nobody used to understand each other's religion or customs. They used to have a diverse range of discrimination between them. But as soon as we got our freedom to the country, the constitution has its own set of rules and regulations which makes our country or nation to stand as secular. It never says that only one. Most of them are in India are Hindus, but it yet says that we have to respect. There are certain set of rules and regulations now that bounds us to be in unity despite of having various diverse connections.
So one, our institutions like constitution, our institutions bind us together, our federal system, right? That is by rule and norms, right? But also before that we have history of having a open mind and openness basically. So we have imbibed, accepted, received all kinds of ideas from around the world, right? And they have traveled crisscrossing, across boundaries within the country, right? So like for example, people in Odisha are influenced by people in Tamil Nadu, right? And people in Karnataka have a role to play in somewhere in Nepal also, right? So in Kashmir also, in temples. So basically the ideas, practices, they have traveled across India, resulting in unique culture of mutual tolerance, acceptance, and so that is why we are peace-loving civilization. And that is one reason there is unity, and that unity we see everywhere. We see it in our parliament, in our cricket team, right? In all our sports teams, in trains. Trains bind us together. There is a train between Kanyakumari to, let's say, Siliguri or somewhere to Delhi, right? So you see people getting in and getting out, and you interact with them. You have become tolerant. So now the question is how it has resulted in strong democracy. So you have to start thinking about it. So see, to write 1200 word essay on this topic is a big challenge. You cannot repeat your arguments. You have to come up with new ideas, new thoughts. So for that you may have to bring comparison. You can compare with American democracy or any other democracy where there is no diversity, right? So or you may also say that sometimes diversity also impact democracy. So when there are certain conditions are not met, right? So the thing is only when you are curious, only when you are inquisitive, so you will be able to ask right questions and then find right answers. So to write very good essay or to give very good answers in interview, it is a process that you have to make daily routine learning, right? So if you, for example, democracy and diversity, right? Now suddenly when I bring these two concepts together, it becomes a difficult topic. On democracy itself you can write so much, right? And diversity itself you can write so much. Now I am asking you to, I have given you an idea, right, a thought, and you may have to question, you may have to substantiate, but that is up to you how well you do it. So for that little bit of extra reading is also required. So the whole point of this orientation, for us it is very easy to say and finish orientation by saying that Insights is the best and our teachers are best, we give you best notes, best content, best test, you just follow it and crack the examination. So that is not how actually things work, right? So it actually works when you are that kind of personality, who can use smartly whatever we are giving. You have this constant urge to learn, and you treat it as your full-time job with passion, and you have this single-minded focus. Nobody can distract you. Come, let's go for a coffee. You have the courage to say no. You don't feel like having coffee, but someone is influencing your thought. It's okay to have 10 minutes break. Let's go. Prior to that, you are doing something, right? So that is what single-minded focus. You have to say no. It's okay to be labeled as not so friendly, or not a team player, this and that. It's okay. Once you achieve this, you know how society works, and I have seen it innumerable times. Once you become a topper, the story is totally different. You are friend of everyone, you are relative of everyone, right? And everyone becomes your well-wisher. So the society is like this. The moment you succeed, everyone will come to offer more help, and they will tell, I had predicted exactly that, relatives only. So you have to go through all of them, but that is in a parallel universe. Don't let it impact your preparation, right? So CSAT you have to take seriously. Those who are coming from arts background or any background, so give more time to CSAT from the beginning itself, from the first day itself. Out of interest, we give 5 questions every day on our website. Out of interest, you solve them. And also last 11 years CSAT papers, 12 years now, so you take them and solve, understand the nature of the questions. Okay. So don't take CSAT for granted. IIT, IIM, doesn't matter. Those who have taken CSAT for granted, all of them failed in CSAT, mainly because of overconfidence. So those who used to score 90s now have come to 70s. Those who used to score 120, 130, they are in the 80s and 90s. So those who have scored 70s this year, next year 40s and 50s, if they don't practice. And I don't know where you stand, 70s, 80s, 90s, unless you have given mocks and practiced these mock tests. So practice them. And to speak very positively, so I believe this is the most thrilling, most exciting part of your life. What you are about to do, what you are going to do right now, right? And you have to be very smart and conscious about it, what you are doing. Conscious in the sense, be mindful what you are doing is actually going to help you, not just to crack the examination, but also to be successful in your life. You have to know that, you have to be aware of it. So don't be afraid of anything, stay away from it. Take it as a challenge, whatever it is, essay writing, answer writing. And I am very happy that in the very first day, you had the courage to write something. Some of you written one paragraph, she has written whole page, some of you written 2-3 lines. Right, that is just the beginning. And anybody out of your own interest, I am telling it in the class, but if somebody out of interest would go back after this orientation and complete the essay, it is that person who is going to crack this examination in 1 or 2 attempts. Because that is what it takes to crack this examination. Right? You just don't want to finish it off. Right? You want to complete it. You want to give a logical end to it. Right? You want to take it as a challenge. You want to go back, learn, and give it a shape. Anybody who would have done it, now I am telling everyone to do it. Anybody who has that kind of desire or personality would do it. That is what it takes to crack this examination. Right? It is as simple as that. I don't know how many of you are going to do it, but I want everyone should do it. Go back and complete. So it can be 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, or 1200 words means 12 sides. Each side 90 to 100 words. 12 sites. So it can take 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, or even a week. It's okay. Take your time. I am not asking you to complete today itself. Read about some articles, right? Search intelligently, right? Idea of diversity according to Amartya Sen, right? Just random, right? Philosophy of diversity. What philosophers have actually said about diversity or democracy, right? Can diversity be threat? That can be a question also, right? So you just ask. You will find good articles, read them, gather ideas, and then sit and write the essay, right? It's okay to do it. It is part of your preparation. So do come out of the school mindset. Anything that is taught in the class, only that much is syllabus, that much you should do. Not like that. So I wish you all the best. So, and I hope to see many toppers emerge from this batch, and whatever money you have invested here, do justice to it. Study well. So some of you have come with your parents also. ಪಾಪ ಅವರು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ನಾವು ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ತನಕ. ಸೊ ಎನಿ ನಾನ್ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗಾಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್? 1 2 3 4. That is why we have to speak totally in English. So it's okay. You understand? So, welcome to Karnataka. Oh, acha, good. Welcome back. Kodappa. So for all the fees you have paid, we are going to give you one Cadbury chocolate. Enjoy. ಎಷ್ಟು ರೂಪಾಯಿದು ಅದು? So how many of you are engineers? Good. How many of you are non-engineers? Like, oh, maximum. Doctors? No. Non-engineers ಅಂದರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅಗ್ರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್? ಗುಡ್. BSc ಬಾಟ್ನಿ zoology? Good. Horticulture? Forestry? BCom, Bachelor of Arts, BA. Architecture? Good. Yavaru miss adva? BSc PCM. Management? Like BBA, BBM, BCA. Okay. Masters. Those are done post graduation. Good. So masters in international business. Maths. Good. Computer science. MTech in computer science, MCA. So ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಫುಡ್ ಅಕಾಮಡೇಷನ್ ಆಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಫುಲ್ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲ? ಕಷ್ಟನೋ ಸುಖನೋ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಇವಾಗ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಗುಡ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ 2 to 3 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇರಲಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೋ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ 3 persons. 3 persons ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎನ್ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ದಟ್ ಈಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್. right, in a healthy way, sharing, caring, in that manner, right. 3 ಜನ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಬಚ್ಚಿಕೊಂಡು ಏನೋ ಮಾಡೋದು, so don't do that. And be very mature, right, behave maturely, don't indulge in any kind of gossiping, unnecessary gossiping, anything that is not related to you, you should never worry about it, right. Thirdly, don't fall into relationships here. So when you are preparing for the examination, so in Labasna you do it. In Labasna, when you go to Labasna, you fall in a relationship multiple times, a single time, whatever it is. So here in Bangalore, while preparing for this examination, single-minded focus, right. So if you are already in a relationship, put a pause button or put a stability button. Ensure that there is a mutual understanding. Tell them you will not be able to give much time the way you used to give before, right. And ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಏನಂದರೆ, because I keep hearing breakup stories, relationship stories, how they affect preparation. ಯಾವುದು ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ, IAS ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಹುಡುಗರು ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಆಫರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಫರ್. So inside say some people think us as marriage bureau also, high level, big political people, big officers come, like for the daughters and sons matches. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಂಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಇನ್ನೇನಿಲ್ಲ. So wish you all the best. Okay, so do well and make yourself very proud, make your parents proud, and also make inside IAS also very proud about your achievement. And don't take IAS as your life. Don't get too much attached to IAS or IPS. Keep the focus on the process, right. Keep learning, so don't worry about outcome. When the process is healthy, and when you are given total attention to process, unknowingly you are developing yourself, you are getting ready for the outcome. So never worry about outcome. Okay, so all the best. Thank you.